today's video, I will talk about a very important topic. You might be someone who is facing some adversity, some challenge right now in your journey, or you've been in the past, okay? And if it's not, it definitely means that you are doing something wrong. Because why? That's part of the journey, that's part of the game. So what is adversity in the first place? All right, adversity is just like a challenge. It's a test. Life is testing you. How badly do you really want it? Okay, and are you really qualified to get to what you're aiming for? Hopefully this video, what's gonna do for you, it's bring that awareness to you, so you're gonna be aware of what's really going on right now in your life, so that can help you to act and take action towards overcoming that adversity and get to the next level and make that breakthrough that you need to get to the next level. So I want you to know something very important. Bad things happens to good people. This is a part of the game, all right? And this is just a normal thing. Most of the people, they forget about that. When you are in the game, when you are in that story, you know, in that adversity moments, you tend to forget that this is a part of the game. And that's one of the big mistakes that I saw a lot of people are making. And I try to bring the awareness first so we can act and we can deal with it. Because in this video today, all right, I want to share like 3 things that you want to avoid and the 3 things that you need to do to act, to take action, really to make that breakthrough, all right, and overcoming that adversity. The first thing that you need to avoid is actually falling into the victim mentality. Okay, that's one of the biggest trap a lot of people are into right now at this moment, and it sounds like it's becoming something that's standards. Because let me tell you a story. A while ago, I went to a restaurant and I meet some guy there where I used to study with in the university. And we sat, he was a server, and he had some time. He sat with me and we would talk a little bit about life, about how things are going for me, for him as well. And I've been asking some questions, okay, and what's going on since the university, to know what happens. And I heard a lot of things because I pay attention to what people are saying and how they say things, all right? So what I really heard is a lot of excuses, a lot of blaming. He's pointing finger everywhere besides the most important person in his world, which is himself. So he's giving up control. He's actually in that victim mood, and it's because of the society, it's because of the government, it's because of my parents. Yeah, the world, it's always like this. You get my point. But he never took responsibility. He never actually took responsibility for his life. And that's the only way for you really to act and really admit it, that it's on you. You are the only one who is gonna change your life. Not anyone else, not the society, not the government. So what I actually want to communicate here today, it's the biggest trap that you need to avoid and to need to be aware of. It's try to avoid this victim mentality and try to avoid falling into that trap of giving up responsibility. Try to take responsibility. Assume that you have control over everything in your life. And that's the only way for you that you can really admit and you can work towards making, like, acting toward finding a solution. Because the guy that I just shared with you right now, it's been years for him being in that trap, and he never acted and he never did something towards it. Why? Because he's thinking that he's not the one who's responsible for that. So that's the first thing that we need to avoid. Try to avoid victim mentality. So the second thing that you need to avoid is avoid emotional reaction. So for example, what I mean by this is, as an entrepreneur, you started a business, okay, you're learning skills, all right, you're growing, you're like, there's a lot of adversity, a lot of challenges that actually comes with you challenging yourself when I grow. When you're facing this challenges, sometimes it may be like super hard, maybe sometimes it's something that you never expressed, you never had before in your life, okay, which is fine. That's mean you are in the right way, just to be aware of it. Sometimes we tend to react with those emotions that we actually have at that time. What happens is a lot of people are quitting because I never saw something, I never expressed something like this right now in my life. Bro, this is too much for me. I want to quit. I don't want to be like this all the time. And they forget that this is just part of the journey, and they forget that this is not something it's gonna be there forever. This is a permanent thing that's gonna actually, it's like a test. You're studying for the whole year. There is a test in the end of the year that you have to pass it to get to the next class or the next level. It's exactly like that. And most of the time it's not this test, it's just like a couple of hours, isn't it? 1 to 2 hours. It's not like the whole year. And that's exactly the life as well, all right? Those tests, they're not there forever. You just have to pass them. And most of the people, what the mistake they made is they make decisions during that period of time, the shortest one. And what this does, they actually destroy the whole year of work by quitting at that test. Hope you get my point. So the third thing that you need to avoid is trying to face it alone. Will be great for you to chase connections at this time. Why is this important? And this is again something that works for me. Why? Because I don't think that I want to be where I'm at today without my community, without the like-minded people that I've been around to. Why? Because whenever I have this kind of adversity, I'm jumping on calls and meetings with like-minded people, and whenever I share what's going on, and whenever I hear someone is talking about under adversity, someone is facing challenges, most of the time, like I said, okay, I mean, this is not just me actually, this is something normal, everyone is facing this, so I just have to deal with it, all right? So why do we need to share things? Again, not with everyone, and that's why I always advise, especially everyone that are asking me, Ismail, what should I do? I don't know what to do. Find a mentor and find the right community with the like-minded people. That's very important, because when you're facing adversity and you try to face it alone, most of the time, your subconscious mind will play with you, because he want to save you. As we all of us know, he's want to protect you, all right? And you facing the adversity, most of the time the subconscious mind is thinking, oh, this is too much for you, Ismail, like let's just try to avoid it as much as you can, but that's not the solution at that time. The solution is you having to go through it to get to the next level. By being with the right like-minded people in the right communities, like ideally having a mentor that can actually support you, this will help you to sit down and have solutions to your cases, because most of those people, they went through those challenges before. Most of them, they figure out solutions. So they share their own solutions with you and you try them, and most of the time they work. That's the biggest trap as well, like I saw a lot of people are dealing with, especially the one that are trying to do it alone. That's why my symbol, and why, like for me, always, every time I always say to everyone, let's do it together, all right? Because together we can reach far away. And I hear a quote, very great one that I want to share with you, talks exactly about this, which goes like this: tough time never lasts, but tough people always do. And another thing that I want you to keep in mind is adversity is actually an opportunity for you to grow, right? To make that breakthrough moment, to get to that next version of you. Keep that in mind. Adversity is an opportunity. So those are three things that you need to avoid first, and I hope this actually has brought some awareness to you, all right? And try to avoid them the moment you are facing those adversities. And now what I like to do, I want to share the three things that you need to do in those adversities. First thing that you need to do is just being aware, and I want you to admit it, that okay, now what's going on is this: I am facing adversity, the life is testing me, and I just need to have to go through it. Admit it, this is part of the journey, this is part of the game, okay? You want to grow, you have a big ambitions, you have a big goals, that's part of the game, all right? You are not the only one who is going through that. Just admit it to yourself, all right? So you can actually work towards finding a solution. Believe in one thing: life happens for you, not to you. Because sometimes we think like, oh shit, like this is too hard, it's just me, all right, as I already said earlier. But just remember one thing, okay? Life, it's always happening for you. What's going on right now, it's preparing you for something bigger. If you zoom out a little bit based on the goals and the journey that you set to yourself, when you zoom out, you're gonna see the whole picture. You're gonna know that this is just part of the journey. And just remember that, like any challenges, any adversities, any tests that's thrown on you, it's actually just life preparing you. And just again, remember this, a principle in life: if you are someone who is a faithful person, always remember that life happens to you, not for you. What's going on right now, it's preparing you for something bigger. The second thing that you need to do is actually surround yourself with the like-minded people. Like I said earlier, just as much as you can. If you are in an environment, if you're just like a beginner, you didn't find a mentor yet that actually can help you, and you know yourself deep inside you that your environment, your surrounding, it's not really helping you, all right? Your friends or whatever you want to call them are not really helping you. Try to distance yourself like a little bit on those people. They will do a lot of damage on you than they actually help you. So try to avoid that. If your environment is not supporting you and you can't distance yourself like physically, just try to say no as much as you can, and try to avoid this physical connection, and just hanging out with those people that are not actually, they have nothing to do with you, what you want to be. and where you want to go. But the moment you are in a position where you can afford and really have someone like-minded people, like find a mentor where he can get you in a community, or just yourself find a community where you can grow and learn, do it, because this journey is a little bit challenging and we need some support from others. Okay, it's always like that. All right, so that's the same thing. Choose connections, try to find the like-minded people and be around them. And the third thing that you need to be aware of, and I want you to do, is look for the answers inside you, not outside. And here's what I mean by this. Whenever you are in this adversity, don't look for the exotic answers, like going outside, searching this, doing this and this. First thing that you really need to do before you share this with your own community, with the like-minded people, sit down, calmly, and really go back to your why. Go back to the basics. Remembering yourself why you are doing what you are doing. Most of the time we tend to forget, like I said, so we need to bring the awareness to ourselves. So you need to go back to your why. You're doing this, why you want to learn the skill, why you want to start the business. And ideally, you need to have a very, very, very strong why. Okay, in our business, and this is what I do in every meeting that I do right now at this moment, I always try to get what is the why, what's really motivated you, why you want to do this, why you want to work with us. And that's very important, because for me, I want to hold you accountable. If we are working together, I want to know your why. I want to know what's motivated you really to start a business or learn a skill, so I can hold you accountable. And when you're facing adversity, I can bring that awareness to you. Whenever you start, like you stay alone, or you are just there alone, you're facing it alone, there is no community around you, try to go back to your basics, like go back to inside you and just remembering yourself why you are doing that, and remembering yourself about your goals and what's the reason why you start in the first place. After all, the last thing that I want to share with you, that going through those adversities, it's really necessary. Okay, it's really necessary. And that's why I said earlier, if you're someone who's not facing that adversity, if you said like, yeah, I mean, for me it's always A's, it's good for me, I'm not struggling at all, it definitely means that you are doing something wrong. Okay, it definitely means that something is missing. You're not growing, man. All right, just be aware of it, because if you are really challenging yourself, you're expressing like you're trying to do something new, all right, and you're growing yourself, you're gonna face it. All right, there is no other way around it after all. So if you are not, you might need to question what you are doing, okay, because this is a part of the game, and I do believe this is the most important part in this game. So just be aware that those struggles, they are the separators, okay? The adversity, it's the separators. After you passed it, and you gonna, as long as you stick to the game, as long as you put in the work and you did whatever you have to do, and you did what I just said today, you make that breakthrough moment, you're getting closer to your goals. That's another step ahead towards you achieving your goals. And that will not be the last one. Just remember that you're gonna face it. For the last 4 years, I can't even remember, like I had a lot of them, right, that I couldn't even remember, or every one of them, okay? So there is always, in each level, every level that you are in, there is adversity. I hope it was helpful today. If it was, share this with someone else that you think that he needs to hear this video, and they need to hear these tools. And to the next one, I love you all.